I don't know what I was thinking really. I'd been drinking with friends and got home drunk. I decided to open Tor and one link led to another. I ended up on a marketplace website that was selling all sorts of shady shit. I could buy my own weight in cocaine if I saw fit, and had the money, though something caught my interest. A posting said, mystery box made to order, $250. I read the description which listed what it could contain, a brand new iPad. That was it. That was the thing that made me send $250 worth of Bitcoin to some random guy in some random place on the internet. I had vague memories of sloppily messaging the seller that I really wanted the iPad. Oh god. I remember sending them an extra $50 to sweeten the deal. What a dickhead. When I woke up, my head hurt. I had a full-blown migraine. It wasn't until I'd had breakfast, showered and opened my laptop that I remembered. My heart sunk. I didn't have money to waste on shit like that, but I did. I clicked the button to message the seller to tell them I changed my mind, but nothing happened. I refreshed the page and, as you can guess, the listing wasn't found. Now, I don't think myself to be an idiot. I wouldn't fall for 411 scams. I know no Nigerian prince wants to send me money, but drunk me, he's a bit of an asshole. I checked my Bitcoin account to see it tell me that I was out of untraceable money. I swear I had at least $750 worth in there. If you take the exchange rate of the day, with the way it fluctuates, it may have only been 300. I was depressed for the rest of the day. I promised myself I wouldn't do anything like that again, but then drunk me is a real... Weeks passed and I completely forgot about it. To be honest, I didn't want to remember how stupid I was. Today though, I did remember. I walked downstairs to see a large brown box on the kitchen table, addressed to me. My dad must have received it from the mailman when he was getting ready for work. I stared at it, shocked to see it had actually arrived. I picked it up. The weight was lopsided, but it was heavy. That was a good sign. At least it wasn't filled with packing chips. I pulled off the tape and opened it up to reveal a lot of packaging chips. I chuckled to myself before plunging my hand in. I pulled out an anonymous red sweater. I held it to my face. It smelled of perfume. It was used. I was slightly disgusted, but what did I expect from the dark web? I placed it on the table next to me. The next item was a set of keys. I examined them and wondered why on earth this was part of the parcel. It was literally like the guy just shoved some random things into a box and sent it off. I was beginning to feel ripped off. I placed my hand in again and pulled out a small bag with a note attached. I knew what it was before I read it. I was excited. A little thing to make time pass more calmly. Written in Sharpie. It was a good amount of weed. I never bought drugs off the internet. I opened the bag to see if it was the real deal, and that strong skunky smell rose up. I took a deep breath and sighed. I'd say it was $70 worth, give or take. I pushed it into my back pocket, worried that my mum could be up in any minute and catch me with it. I was intrigued to see what was remaining. Maybe I'd make my money back yet. The next item was a small wooden box. I opened it to see a few pieces of silver jewellery. I checked each one, having no idea if it was worth anything. There were 2 necklaces and 2 rings. I wondered if they had been stolen or brought from a pawn shop. I placed it next to the red top. The next was another baggie with another note written in Sharpie. You'll need these. Trust me. I was a little anxious when I read the note and saw a small box of Xanax inside. What the fuck did I need anxiety medication for? I was not one to dabble in prescription drugs. Weed and a little mushrooms was all I needed. I knew some friends who'd pay good money for that. I had no idea how much they were worth though. I'll look it up later. I assumed $50, so that was $130 so far. And to be fair, for something off the dark web, if I only lost around half my money, I should count myself lucky. I fished around in the box again and couldn't feel anything else. I picked it up to feel it was still heavy. I placed it down again and stood up. I reached all the way to the bottom and felt something large and slender. I pulled it out. It was a fucking iPad. Holy shit, jackpot. It was slightly scratched, but it wasn't a first generation. It was light and thin. It was at least an Air. I was stoked. It was then my mother popped her head round the corner. Hey honey, did you get a package? Yeah, I said, suddenly aware I could smell the weed in my back pocket. Hey, you found my sweater, she said, delighted. Where was it? Was all I mustered. She picked it up and unconsciously the keys too. She walked away. I sighed, worried she'd smelled the drugs. What's that? She said, turning. I'm holding it for a friend, I said without thinking. What? She said, not paying attention. What's my jewellery box doing down there? I stared at my mum slack-jawed. She picked it up and opened it, studying if anything was missing. Well, answer me, she demanded. It was in the package, I said honestly. Don't bullshit me, were you going to sell this? No, I promise. Just wait until your dad gets home. Jesus, Darren. I swear this isn't your stuff, it was in a package I brought off the net. You expect me to believe you bought my exact top and jewellery box off the internet? Why in God's blazes would you do that? It was a mystery box, it could have contained anything. You come up with some shit sometimes. I think it's best if you go to your room. I'm 17, I said. When you're under our roof, it's our rules. I picked up the iPad and went upstairs. I laid on my bed and turned the device on. I was surprised to see it still had power. A few non-standard apps appeared on the desktop as I swiped to unlock. Nothing of interest though. I checked the email program to see that it was blank. I was worried it was stolen and knew I couldn't keep it if there was any personal data on there. I checked the Photos app. There were around a dozen photos. I tapped the first. It was a low light shot of a street. Could have been any. I swiped and the next was of the front of a house. The light was on in the front room, but in the low light, it overexposed the shot and made it hard to see any detail. The next was the side of a house. The horizontal white wood siding looked similar to ours. The next was of what appeared to be a rear door, then one of a kitchen. I did a double take. The place looked identical to ours. Then one of the living room, the TV bright and hiding the faces of the people who sat on the couch and chair. Then one of the stairs. The brown waxed wood of the floor was uncanny and my heart thumped in my chest. Then one of the landing. It was no coincidence. It was our house. The family portrait that hung on the far side wall, even in the low light, was obviously ours. I panicked and didn't want to swipe again, though I did. My parents' bedroom, my mother asleep on the bed covers pulled taut. The next view, the covers being pulled back gently. My mother pulled her legs up from the sudden cool air. The cupboard open. A black gloved hand reaching out and searching, the hand holding a red sweater. A dark photo with lines of light obscuring the view. Another dark photo, this time the exposure was better, and I see it's from inside the cupboard. My dad was in the room. The next, my dad getting into bed next to my mother, then one of the bed. My parents sleeping. I swiped again and saw the covers pulled back. Whoever it was doing this wanted to be caught. I was sure of it. After that, in the hallway again, the black gloved hand holding the jewellery box outstretched. Only one photo remained, and it was above a bed with someone sleeping below. It was me. My blood ran ice cold. I threw the iPad on the floor, hearing it crack against the side of my desk. Oh no, I said to myself. I leapt up and saw the screen stare back at me with a rainbow mosaic of broken LCD and glass. What was I going to tell my parents? They'd never believe me. I pulled the bag of pills out my back pocket and read the note again. You'll need these. Trust me. I turned it over to read a date, 7/21/2018. It must have been when the package was sent. I read it again and realised that's tomorrow, Saturday. Fuck, what does it mean? I have to warn my parents. Please, if you don't hear from me, call the authorities. I fear the worst. A few weeks ago, I was reading some articles about the dark web. I found it intriguing, and the thought of the unknown drew me in. The fact there's so much hidden content in the dark web made me want to attempt to go on it, so I did. I found a guide on how to access this part of the internet, and I followed every step, although there were only a few. Download Tor, check. Download a VPN, check. Find .onion links, check. I thought, was that really all there was to it? Just that easy? I gained access to the deeper parts of the web through the browser Tor. It was boring at first because there wasn't too much to look at, just a blank page. I knew it wasn't like the regular web. I had to find specific links to type in. I found a wiki page full of .onion links before I got started, so I looked through to look for something interesting. I wasn't on the dark web to buy anything or do anything illegal, I just wanted to look. My curiosity got the better of me. The links didn't have descriptions on what they were about, so I had to take my chance with whichever one I'd type in. I copy and pasted a link that seemed a bit creepy, mainly because I was alone and wanted to scare myself, while I waited for my girlfriend to get home. I hit enter and the page loaded. It was a pitch black page with small white text written on the left bottom corner. It was so tiny I couldn't even read it. The text then started to slowly get bigger, finally enough to where I could read it. Be careful what you click on, it wrote. Okay, weird, I thought. I clicked out of the link and moved on down the list of links. I copy and pasted another. The page loaded up. It was a black and red page with a text box saying, enter name. It looked like it was a computer game. Alexa, I typed into the box. Another text box showed up, this time saying, last name too. Okay, I know what you all think. You must be stupid to give your full name over the dark web. Yes, I know. And yes, I was. That is where it all went wrong. More, I typed into the computer. Inside, I felt a bit nervous. I was wondering why I even gave my real name. Like, who does that? I could have entered a fake name. It looked like it was a harmless game. What could happen? Some animation started after I hit enter. It was a man chasing a woman around in a house with a knife. A body of text that said, your objective is not to get killed, Alexa. It can happen in a matter of seconds. You cannot hide from us. We will always be watching. I hated that those words sounded like they were directed at me. It was a little nerve-wracking, especially because after those words, I saw my name being typed in over the woman running from the knife. Let alone my name being on the screen, I wasn't even able to control anything in the game. It was just a video I was watching and it seemed to replay every time the woman was killed. As the video played, the woman started to look more and more like me. It was crazy. I was sitting there watching an animated version of myself being murdered over and over again. The last replay of the video had the woman with her legs cut off and bleeding out on the floor, and the killer left. Strange enough, more words began to appear on the screen.
We're almost to you, Alexa. We can't wait to meet you.
My heart began to race. What the hell was that about? I thought. It's nothing, I'm perfectly fine. I tried to close out of the page and it kept giving me an error message. I tried 3 more times, all said the same thing. Error, cannot exit. I reset my computer, hoping that I would take care of everything. I didn't pick my computer back up to check. I still felt too creeped out. I guess that's what I wanted, right? My girlfriend was supposed to be home soon, so I went downstairs to the kitchen to get dinner started. I poured myself a glass of wine to calm myself after watching myself die repeatedly. I'm never going to go back on the dark web again. That freaked me out way too much. And besides, I'm not sure if I was even using it correctly, I thought. The VPN I downloaded seemed a bit sketchy. I didn't have to pay for it and it kept cutting in and out, leaving minutes at a time unsecured. I hear the door open. Thinking it was my girlfriend, I got excited. It's been a long day and I wanted to share what had happened with her. I heard footsteps. I called out, "Honey, I'm in the kitchen." I didn't hear her voice. Normally she announces when she's home. I started to get a bit worried and walked down towards the front door. It was wide open with no one there. I felt the pit of anxiety in my stomach. I ran back up to the kitchen in an attempt to grab a weapon to protect myself with. I was looking for the butcher knife in the knife block, with little to no avail. That was the only knife missing. I heard footsteps again, so I grabbed one of the knives and booked it upstairs. I went into my bedroom and turned the lights off and locked the door.
We're always watching you, Alexa Moore. What a naive thing to do. Enter in your full name on the dark web. Unprotected. We found you in a matter of seconds. You know how quickly and how easily it was to find your location? Remember the game you played? That's quickly going to be your reality.
My heart dropped. I was afraid of what was going to happen next. The next thing I knew, I was knocked cold on the floor. I woke up maybe 45 minutes later due to excruciating pain. Blood everywhere. Pain. And more pain. My vision was blurry from tears. I looked down and I saw my legs torn from my body. All I could think about beside my pain was my girlfriend. Where was she? Is she alive? I couldn't see her or hear anyone. I was hoping whoever did this was gone. They must have taken my limbs because I didn't see them on the floor. I started to hear the sound of faint sirens, getting louder as they came closer. A few minutes later, a rush of paramedics and police came into my room. I was lifted into a gurney and carried downstairs. That is where I saw my girlfriend on the floor, bleeding out. Before I was taken outside into the ambulance, I saw them close her eyes. I knew what that meant. My heart broke even more inside. Once I was inside the ambulance, everything went black.